Welcome everyone. This is Coaching in Session. My name is Michael Rearden and I will be your mindset coach today. And today we're going to be talking about riches and wealth. I have talked about how to make money and I talked about the ideas of success, happiness, fulfillment on the podcast. And in a sense, that can be a conversation that we could be implementing in today's episode. Because in a sense, when we look at riches and wealth, what do they truly mean? In a sense, we have to define what these terms mean for us. For example, rich might mean that you have a lot of money, you have financial freedom, you can go on as many vacations as you want, you can do whatever you want, right? Because you have the financial, access. So you can go to this vacation, that vacation, buy this house, buy that house, basically people's dreams very easily. And you could be rich, right? You could be labeled rich. Now, let's say that we change the definition from money to wealth now. You're no longer rich, you're wealthy. Wealthy can mean, in the terms of money, that you have a lot of financial assets. You have maybe a fully stocked IRA. You have multiple 529 plans for your children. There could be many aspects to what wealth means for you. You have a good source of cash flow coming in from rental properties, certain businesses, etc., ventures. That can be wealth. But some people might say wealth is not that. Some people might say wealth is me coming home to my family that loves me spending time with my family on the weekend instead of going out and partying and going to the club. That could be wealth for some people. Which one is it for you? We have to be able to define that. And after we define what riches and wealth are, then we have to give it another idea, a next step, the dreams and the realities that we want to live. Because some people, they have dreams. Some people, they like to live in reality. Some people, they like to not live in reality. But I will say this, the people who have big dreams that are scary and lofty and they might never ever achieve them, those people have something to work toward. They might not think of the life as riches. They might think of the life as wealth. I'm going along this journey. I'm learning. I'm growing. I'm better than I was yesterday. Sometimes our dreams can confuse us because sometimes our dreams are not our own. Who told you that you need a house? Who says to get a big box to live in, and when you get this big box, you're going to be magically happy? You're going to have this big house that you have to take care of, that you have to paint, that you have to clean, that you have to repair the walls, and you have to repair the AC units when they break. Who told you that this was a great idea? Someone. The bank. The bank wants you to own a house because they're going to get interest from your mortgage. Most people, they can't afford a home just by paying cash. And then even if you had the choice to pay cash, you're better off just having multiple streams of income by getting a bunch of rental properties, building cash flow from that, and then being able to live off that. Not so much of having money in an asset. One is going to be creating wealth. One maybe might make you feel rich. I feel rich living in this mansion. Oh, my house is so big. I drive a BMW and a Ferrari. Yeah, you're rich. Some people, they love that. Some people love touting money. They wear the fancy clothes and the nice dresses and shoes and pocketbooks and stuff. And nothing wrong with what type of lifestyle that you want. But today we're going to be looking at different types of lifestyle that people can be looking at. A life full of riches, a life full of wealth, maybe a little bit of both mixed in together. That might be the right mix for you. But then we're going to start to give ourselves a dose of reality. What do we truly want? Because you might not truly want a big house. You might not want a bunch of cars. Because again, some people don't realize this. The bigger the house you have, the more cars you have, the more maintenance you have to do. You know, for me, it's like, okay, got to get an oil change. Great. Another thing for me to do. Okay, great. I have a 5-bedroom, 3-bath. more stuff for me to clean. Now, of course, you can be rich. I'm going to get a house cleaner and I'm going to have an auto mechanic to do all of this stuff for me. Cool. Maybe you can even get a personal assistant and they handle all the mundane things in your life where you don't worry about who's cutting the lawn and who's doing your car stuff. You just have everything on autopilot. That could be true riches for you. Heck, it might even be wealthy, especially if you have multiple business that you have created. You have multiple streams of income. That can be a wealthy life. But then ask yourself, does this life that you have built, that you have attained, that you have worked for or worked toward, give you happiness? Sometimes we have a dream in our mind. We do this to be happy. I'm going to do this job for X, Y, Z amount of years, and it's going to make me happy later. This is the mentality many people have when it comes to retirement, especially when we go back all the way to the baby boomers. We want to work until 65 and we want to be able to retire and be happy and get to enjoy life. We work so hard our whole life. The dream was retirement. The aspect of being able to travel and not have to worry about working and money anymore. It's a dream. But the reality that many people face when they're 65 is they have about 10 years left to live. They have not been taking care of their health. They have not been doing the things that they needed to do to be secure in their later years in life. They're trying to live a very high lifestyle, but they're always at the edge. They can't ever stop working because they don't want to sacrifice what they have built or what they would like to have. Recently, it was a couple months ago now, when I was in Mexico, I went on vacation and I realized something. It's really nice, the nice water, the people, the food, but nothing beats having a place to come and call home. Now, you might say your hotel room or your Airbnb or the apartment that you rent is home, right? It could be a momentary place that you call home. Heck, for even maybe multiple months out of the year. You have a vacation home, that can be home, but there's always a home base where we feel most comfortable, where we feel most at ease, and in a sense that can keep us still. It can keep us stuck because remember, we don't want to be in our comfort zone long term. We want to be able to get out of what is going on in our life and begin to make some changes. The issue with all of this is we don't necessarily get to make that choice because we see all the distractions. Oh, well, the latest and greatest came out. We need a new iPhone. We need a new house. We need a new car, whatever it is. My car is a little bit old, a little bit dingy, got some scratches on it. I need to make some changes. But yet, there's a difference in how we think. And I remember Bob Marley when he was, still alive and he did an interview. They say, "Are you a rich man?" And he's like, "What does rich mean? What is that?" And he's like, "A lot of money, a lot of material goods." He goes, No. I don't have those types of riches. I have life. That's my rich, right? That's my wealth. Sometimes just being alive can be more than enough. Yet many people, they squander their life away. I was reading a book and they talk about this aspect, and I talked about this aspect already in the podcast, but it's everywhere, right? In every self-help book, every motivational book, probably speech too, how we will work and sacrifice our health until we finally have an abundance of money where we will give away our money to reclaim our health. It's almost like a catch-22. What are people doing? Why not build yourself up while maintaining or building yourself up literally? Going to the gym, walking, doing these things can make you extremely wealthy in life. There's people who can't do that. There are people who have already crossed that bridge and they have a long road to recover. You don't have to be that person. So let's define what riches are, what wealth is, what dreams are, and then what reality is for you. This is something that you're going to have to maybe get a piece of paper and you're going to have to go through this process. Now, riches are going to be the materialistic goods, the houses, the cars, the accolades, maybe the glory, your 15 minutes of fame, right? Whatever you want to consider a rich for you, write that down. Okay? Be as specific as you want. And remember, these are wants. Riches are wants. I want a big house. I want a fast car. I want a nice wardrobe. You want those things. Maybe we get into the sense of a person now. I want a girlfriend. I want a boyfriend. Those don't necessarily make you rich. If done right, they'll make you wealthy. So now let's look at the wealthy thing. Wealthy is almost like a need. You don't need to be wealthy, but it's going to be the better option. If you want to have a life full of wealth, you want cash flow, you want, again, financial freedom, whatever that means for you. You want someone who you can share this with, because if you do it by yourself, you're probably going to feel alone. You're going to, again, probably spend money to be with people. We're looking at wealth. Wealth is going to be the ability to appreciate what you have by not worrying about what you have and losing what you have. Everything is just automatic. Everything is there. Now, wealth can just be the breath that you have within you. Being able to be alive, waking up in the morning and saying, I'm alive today. This is my wealth. I am healthy today. This is my wealth. So you can go to two extremes. You can have a more spiritual, or you can have a more worldly view of what wealth is. And the aspect of the worldly view is going to be what society says wealth is. Well, wealth is going to have like 10 mansions, and you rent all those mansions out as an Airbnb, and you make all these millions of dollars a year, and you have all of these jets that you charter. That can be wealth for you, right? Again, you can be a billionaire and be wealthy, but then you can also be a billionaire and just be rich, because you might not understand what you truly have. Wealth are going to be things that you consider priceless in a sense. Your family is priceless. Your career, you can change that. But maybe you created a business that, is going to stand the test of time as long as it's in the family. It's going to be something that's going to create wealth for your family. Different ways we can look at wealth. But then we get into the idea of dreams. Dreams are wonderful to have. A lot of people daydream. A lot of people dream of, getting lucky, having a good life and doing everything that they want to do in life, but yet they don't have the option. So I want you to write down some of your dreams. You don't have to write down all of them. We have a lot of dreams. Try to get to at least 10. 10 dreams. And when you get to 10 dreams, then we move on to reality. The reality is, how many of those dreams are truly going to make you happy? You might have a dream of buying a car. I bought a lot of cars in my life. Guess what? None of them made me happy. Maybe my first one, actually. I was happy when I got my first car. I was like 18. I didn't know any better. But now every single car is an A to B car. I don't care if the car cost $30,000 or $300,000. It does not matter to me. A car is a tool. You get to choose where your happiness resides. A house is just a place to lay my head. I was talking to someone on X, Twitter, and they were like, if someone stole your car, can you forgive them? I'm like, I'm thinking in my head, what kind of stupid question is this? But to them, they felt like a car was valuable. Okay, well, I'm not going to belittle someone's sense of value. A car is just a material to me, I replied. There's no need to be worried about if someone did harm to my car. Heck, if someone did harm to my house, it doesn't matter. I can replace those things. Now, I will say, when I was young, if something happened to my car, my house, something that I loved, it hurt. I was like, man, my car, I got in a car crash and it sucks. And, I got to deal with this. And, I didn't like things to be broken. I wanted everything to be, perfect. But yet, life's not about being perfect. It's not about, perfectionism. We talked about that. This is the idea that I have to focus on the things that matter. I have to focus on the things that are real to me. Who cares about a car that gets me from A to B? I understand it could be a huge asset in my life, thing that I need every single day. But I'm not going to just hold on to it so dearly and curse everyone that gets in my way, or maybe someone who takes it away from me. I'm not going to be upset. Materials can be replaced. And think of it this way. The car that you once loved, and you might have like an old school car that's like a collectible, you might love that car for a very long time, maybe your whole entire life. But for the majority of people who get cars, they fall out of, love. They get their Tesla and they are driving it. And not until it gives a problem, or not until it starts breaking down, because these lithium batteries, again, they're just not recyclable. So they just stay in a junkyard. But yet we're being clean. We're being green. Climate control, right? This right here is stopping global warming. But it's not. We think we are doing the right thing. Think of doublethink again. We're doing these things that are supposed to be saving us, making the world a better place, but they're not. Look at, those windmills and stuff like that, where they have these power generators, these turbines and stuff. How many birds it kills a year and how much pollution it creates, even though it creates electricity, yes. The pollution aspect is once these blades are, done and spent, they're just in a junkyard sitting there, rotting away. We don't realize that we're trying to do things that conflict with each other. Sometimes we're trying to be happy, but we're going about happiness in the wrong way. We think happiness is going to be the money. We think happiness is going to be, again, the big houses, the fast cars, all of the girls. If you're a guy, and maybe if you're a girl, you have a family that you love, depending on what you want. We make those choices. So that's why we have to be clear on our dreams, and we have to be clear on the reality that we want to live. Most people, they live in someone else's dreams and they live in someone else's reality. Someone else told them that they need a big house, but maybe they're a person that wants to live in an apartment. Maybe they're a person that does not want to deal with anything. I know there's people who live in penthouses. They don't have any lawn. They don't have any gardens. They just live in the penthouse, have beautiful views of the city. They love being in the city. They love going on the subways and on the trains and stuff like that. And I'm thinking in my head, I don't want to be on a subway and a train, and I don't want to live on a concrete jungle. And I'm looking down on all these buildings and there's no greenery. There's no gardens where, people can grow fresh food and stuff. I want to be able to garden. We get to choose what type of life we want. So for me, I might be happy living on a farm. I think Dave Chappelle lives on a farm in Kansas. He bought a farm. He was like, I'm buying a farm and getting away from all of this crap. Because it becomes too much. Yet he can live in Hollywood. He can live on Hollywood Boulevard with all the celebrities. I think some of those homes range from, probably like 12 million all the way up to 50, 60 million dollars to live in those homes, over there. And it's prestigious, right? Yeah, I live in this big house. And I live, my celebrity is this, or my next door neighbor is this celebrity, or is in this movie. It could be, a social status thing. But most of those people, they still have real world problems. They still have to deal with maybe fear, stress, anxiety, whatever it be. Maybe it might not be to the level of the person who's a working man or working woman, but it's still there. We don't get to separate us from being human. Just because you're rich, it doesn't mean you can't be robbed. Just because you're wealthy, it doesn't mean you can't lose what you have built, what you have created. In a sense, it can be taken away. I'd like to think about, some of the most powerful people in the world, and you don't have to like these people. You have your Andrew Tate, he's been in prison for multiple months at a time. And then, new charges seem to be coming up left and right with new accusations. And then you have Trump, of course, with the whole case, and he had to pay a certain amount of money for a bond. I think it was $463 million or something like that. And he was looking for people to, get the loan for, because he's not going to have all that money at hand. It's going to be in investments, stuff like that. And Apparently, he wasn't able to find an investor or something along those lines for a while. But he is worth more than that, I'm sure. It's just that having those assets on hand. Do you want to be a person that has all of those assets on hand where you're like, yeah, I have like $1 trillion in the bank. I understand 1 trillion is a lot, but I'm just going to, exaggerate. I have $1 trillion in the bank and, it's just sitting there, but it's not keeping up with inflation. It's not necessarily building any wealth. You're rich 100%, but you're not wealthy. And I remember when Shaquille O'Neal, right? Maybe not the right guy to talk about, but he does have a degree in business. He talked to, one of his wealthy friends about, riches and wealth. And the businessman or the person he was speaking with said, hey, Shaq, you're rich. I'm wealthy. And he's like, what do you mean? He's like, well, let me tell you about this. He's like, what rich people do is they make a lot of money and they spend a lot of money. Wealthy people, they make a lot of money and they spend very little money. They put their money back. So he was saying, like, if you make $1, you save 50% and then you spend 50% if you want to be, a good rich person. But then he says, if you want to be wealthy, let's split that again. I'm going to save 75% or 75 cents and I'm going to only spend 25 cents. Okay. Now, even though you can have a very luxury lifestyle or luxurious lifestyle, if you wanted to choose to live on that whole dollar, and I use $1 just as reference. It could be $100, 1,000, whatever. But the 75 builds assets. So he said, oh, wow, no, I didn't think of it that way. So he started to buy franchises. He has, I don't know how many Five Guy restaurants that he franchises, some other ones too. I think he has his own restaurant now. And then he also incorporated his family name, O'Neal, right? Or Shaq. This right here is going to help build wealth in the family because now he can pass it on to his children. He has also told every single one of his children, you ain't getting any of daddy's money unless you have an education. Now, this is not to say that you need an education in order to be successful. This is something that he wants his children to experience because it does a couple of things. This is why I like college. I know college is a scam, but this is why I like college. College is going to be one of the first things a student does on their own accord, like a male or woman does on their own accord. They choose to go to college most of the time. Sometimes their parents are going to force you to go to college. Maybe in this sense they do, but it doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to graduate with honors, that you're going to do good in school, right? Again, the ball is in your court, and no pun intended, Shaq. The ball is in your court. You get to choose if you succeed in college, if you drop out, if something happens, if you get pregnant, if you have a kid, if you get arrested, if you do drugs, right? All of that right there are all distractions. And I'm going to be talking about this on a episode. It's going to be a blog episode in the coming weeks, maybe months, where I'm talking about adversity and how we need adversity in our life in order to be strong. College has a level of adversity to it. And I'm not saying that if you go to, a community college is different than if you go to like a big prestigious Ivy League college. It's going to be very different. Okay. You're going to have different personalities, different situations. But regardless, you have adversity that you have to overcome. You might have a teacher or a professor that you don't like. You might have a subject that you're not good in that you have to overcome. The adversities that you get in college might be small, but they can be the best learning lessons in life. Sometimes you won't have adversities in college. You still learn, you still grow, and you have a sense of accomplishment when you're done. And it gives not only you, but employers, people, the view that you can start something and finish. That's why employers like people who have college degrees. It's not about your work smarts and what you can do. It's about the commitment that you can commit to something for a period of time. So it might be 4 years, it might be 6 years, it might be, longer if you want to be like a doctor or a lawyer. You commit to that. All right. This can help you grow. This can help you see. We understand the value in things. If I just gave people money, and I know Jim Carrey talked about this, he says, I wish that everyone would get $1 million so they can realize that money doesn't make you happy. This was a wish. This was an idea. But yet everyone wants the idea of $1 million. You ask a person, how much are they worth? Yeah, I'm worth $1 million. Yeah, you haven't done the work. Yeah, you might be rich when you get that $1 million, but you will never be wealthy because you don't have the mindset to maintain it. You have the dreams of a good life, or you have the dreams of a life that was given to you or told that you should be having and living. Yet it's not real. A lot of people, they think their destination is going to bring all this happiness and fulfillment. Yet, what happiness and fulfillment is right now. If you can't truly be happy, if you can't truly be fulfilled at this moment, you might not be able to, be long-term happy. You might not be able to maintain or even attain high levels of wealth. And I'm talking more so about family. If you are a business person, maybe you have a choice to make. You can be away half the year away from your family so they can, have a nice big house, fast cars, vacations, or you can be present, give them the best life possible. Because if you ask a kid, whether they're young or older, what they appreciate most about their parents, it's almost never about the money they spent. It's always about the time. It's always about they cared. It's always about they made time. They understood me. They love me. There's kids in college that are, saying like, if you could, tell your parents one thing when you were younger, what would it be? Oh, spend more time with me. Tell me you love me. Tell me you appreciated me. Tell me that, I was doing good. They wanted that support. Yet many parents, their love language is, I'm doing this for you. Appreciate what I'm doing. And yes. Those children will appreciate what you do. But it's not as clear as what we would like it to be or what they would like it to be. We're not giving them that sense of hope. You know how many kids grow up and they are never told that they can amount to anything in life? The limiting beliefs that they have are astounding. And no wonder why people struggle with their money and they have financial issues. It's because the dreams that they were told to live are not true to the reality. So they try to be rich, but then they forget to be wealthy. And then their life is just an uphill battle. And they lose almost every single day. We need to learn how to win. We need to learn to separate what these phrases and what these terms are. And we get to choose how we live life. So I encourage everyone to do the work. If you listen to the podcast, re-listen to it again and ask yourself those questions again. What is rich to me, or what are riches to me? What is wealth to me? What does being wealthy to me mean? What are my dreams? Are my dreams mine, or are they someone else's? And then what type of reality do I want to live in? Do I want to live in a reality where I'm this, or in a reality where I'm something else that other people view me as? You have to do the work. And I encourage everyone to do the work today, to do the work soon. And if you are a person that cannot remain accountable, reach out to us here at Reven Concepts. We'll be more than happy to walk you through that process. We do it for many of our clients. It might seem like something that's mundane and something that's very easy. Just think of it as a to-do list. How many times have you written a to-do list and you got nothing done? Too many times, I'm sure. So don't let this be a time when you write something down and you don't take action or the correct action to help change and elevate your life. My name is Michael Rearden. I'm a mindset coach. If you have any questions, email me coachinginsession@gmail.com. And I will see everyone on the next episode of Coaching in Session. Until then, everyone take care.